So here's up guys, Riotbox here and welcome back to another MotoGP 19 career mode episode, and this time we're going to be heading out for the Czech Grand Prix, and I'm literally recording this straight after the actual BRNO Grand Prix. So obviously you guys have probably already seen it, so you know Marquez absolutely dominated it. So as we're getting into our race in our career mode season, we are just 5 points behind the man himself, Marc Marquez. Dovi is a further 37 points behind Marquez, so 32 points behind us. So, and he's been on a bit of a roll lately. So I do want to check out our career progress so far this season. So we've only finished off of the podium twice at Qatar and then Spain for the Jerez Grand Prix. Last time out we're at Germany, finished second, and before that was Assen with a third place. So good consistent podium results, which is keeping us right up the top, but Marquez is very quick at the minute, so we're going to have to watch out for him. So let's head out to the Czech Grand Prix then. We'll head straight into the first practice session and see what lap time we have to beat for our development program. So as you can see, a 155.5 is what we need to do to get the 20 resource points that we want to get in this practice session. We also want to get straight into Q2, so as you can see we've got Dovizioso just ahead of us, so probably a good marker to try and follow, hunt him down a little bit. I don't know if he's on a fast lap or what, but I do want to close in on him because he is very quick, especially in the races, but it doesn't look like he's on a very quick lap at the minute. I think he's on his out lap and we're coming up the inside there. Lift him up a little bit, run a bit deep into turn 5, but again we get away with it. He tries it back at us but doesn't try very hard, so he is not on a quick lap at all. So we know the time that we need to beat a 155.5. Let's see if we can do it on this first lap. That'd be good. Coming out of the final corner, it's not going to be enough to beat the time. We've got to knock off about a second in order to meet the 55.5 lap time that we need. So let's go for another lap, see if we could do it. If not, after this lap we'll probably run out of tyres. So as you can see, we weren't able to actually improve on our time, and we have not done very well at all in this practice session. On the second time round I was about a second off of the original time we did, so we've got to pull our finger out a bit here at BRNO. I mean, we're going to have to do the first qualifying session. We were slowest overall. BRNO's always been a tough track for us, so this is always going to be the damage limitation. If you remember on MotoGP 18, this was the race which probably cost us the championship in a couple of our seasons. So we're going to have to go for a fresh set of tyres. I couldn't select them for some reason. Right, let's head out on track then and try and get ourselves into Q2 if that's possible. Across the line then, it's a 55.7 on that opening lap time. Hopefully that's enough to get into Q2. I'm not too sure yet. We'll probably put in another lap just to see if we can improve, but after the first lap the tyres really do go off, so we might have to come back in and go back out if that lap time isn't enough. So let's see how we get on through the first sector then. As you can see, come through sector 2, we just lose it. The soft tyres won't last more than one lap, so I'm just going to head back to the pits, fast forward through and see if it's enough to get into Q2. So as you can see, we dropped down to third in the standings at the minute in qualifying. If we want to protect our championship position, which is just 5 points behind Marc Marquez, we're going to have to get a move on. We're going to, well, I've dropped down to 5th now. We're going to have to break into the 54s. We're going to have to find about a second here at BRNO, so I'm really starting to get worried. We can't let it affect our riding though, so let's see how we get on in this lap. Okay, this, we're 9/10 of a second off of the time we need. You know what, I just give up. Let's get into the race and just hope that the pace we have for the race is decent. But I mean, look at this, we're right near the back. What has gone on here at BRNO? It's all gone to pieces. I never remember doing this bad at BRNO. Right, it's a wet race. It could be our saving grace. So let's go. I'm going for these soft, wet tyres. Hopefully it will last us. We've got a few mediums on the track. These soft tyres, let's hope they last. Got a few mediums out there, but I've elected for these soft tyres. They should last. should help us keep some heat into them, because it isn't... Oh my god, KTM there. One of the KTMs rammed into the side of us as we drifted out a little bit wide. We've dropped down to P21 out of P23. Not what the Yamaha team want, and not what I want for my championship. So let's power through the grid if we can, up into the P13 position. There's Jack Miller. He'll be hoping for better in these wet conditions. Lorenzo's just ahead of us. Like I say, this could be our saving grace, these wet conditions, but I don't know. Got a lot of work to do in this race. Only 5 laps to do it around here at BRNO. I'm going to get a screenshot with Jorge Lorenzo there. Back to the action then. We're just about underneath of Jorge Lorenzo. Past the Aprilia into P12, and now can we slip it up the inside of the Suzuki at turn 7? Oh, that was an awful line through there. I thought I could just sneak up the inside, but that didn't work. And Paul Espargaro on the Aprilia is back at us, but we get him back. Good run out of there. Into turn 8, try and keep him at bay if possible. Franco Morbidelli hits the deck on the Yamaha. He's struggling with his Yamaha. I don't know where Vinales is. Rossi's only in about 6th or 7th, so not what he wants from the Yamaha either. So let's just see if we go to the top 12. I need to try and pick up a few points. It's all about damage limitation here, and the wet weather's going to give us a bit of a lifeline, I think. So we're going to have to take that if we can. Breaking up the hill. Ugh. Bit sloppy on the brakes. Good run out of there. Half a second behind Jack Miller. Nothing we can't gain on him. Front end just doesn't want to grip. Here we go then. Rins is leading from Dovi, from Marquez, from Petrucci, from Valentino, Rossi coming into turn number 1. Then Miller pulls out a little bit on the brakes. We gain it back though. We're holding a tighter line. I don't know if it's going to work in the wets now. We're on the rumble strip slightly, but now get a good run onto the back straight. Gaining, braking as late as possible. Up the inside, that has not worked out at all for us. We just collided with Nakagami. That's cost us time. Come on. Get back on track. Let's do this. Just gotta focus now. Breaking down the hill is very tricky in these damp conditions. Probably should have put a medium on the front, I think. .6 of a second to Jack Miller. Come on, let's see if we can close them in now on the second half of the lap. Again, breaking down the hill. We're not able to outbrake him anywhere. He's going to be lining up Nakagami anytime soon. Oh, God. We keep missing the apex of that chicane. And it's costing us time. Right, Espargaro behind 1.2 seconds. We're staying about half a second behind Jack Miller, which is good. I mean, it's not bad. But we just want to be starting to close him in. 59.8 from Dovi. Dovi's hit the front now from Rins is following closely. 202. We're about 3 seconds off of the pace of the leaders. So, like I say, all about damage limitation here at BRNO for us today. And these wet conditions are going to help us out. If we can make it into the top 10, that'll be good. So far, we're sitting in our worst race position so far this season. So far, it's been 7th place, which is our worst finishing position. Coming late on the brakes again. Lining it up the inside of Jack Miller. That's not worked out for us. Need to work on that line through there. 1.2 seconds is the gap to Miller. Really slow sector 2 now. I found that in qualifying. Sometimes sector 2 we just have a really slow one, and I don't know the answer why. I think we're a little bit closer to the back of Miller now. Oh, only about a 10th, if that. Oh, that's annoying. Another 59.5 from Dovizioso. What are we going to do as we come across the line? I think that's it. Jack Miller's going 1.4 seconds up the road. He is now a bit better there into that chicane there. Brakes a little bit earlier. 1.6 seconds is the gap though. They pulled out 2/10 up to us. Probably should have chucked a medium tyre on the rear, I think. We're going to try and stick with him if we can. Another pretty static race. It's that sort of mid part of the season where I always find it's a little bit boring, especially with the actual real life Grand Prix as well. The BRNO Grand Prix is a real stinker actually. It was really boring. I didn't like the BRNO Grand Prix. Really mediocre race, and now 1.9 seconds is the gap to Miller. Miller's gone. We can write off gaining any positions. Now we've got to turn our attention to defending this 12th place. I think we'll only get a couple of points, but a couple of points could bring it down to the wire from the end of the season. And Marquez luckily isn't leading this Grand Prix. It is Dovizioso, at least he was last time I checked, leading this Grand Prix, so we're gonna limit the damage that's gonna happen. 1.9 seconds, we maintain the gap there to Jack Miller. 58.9. How on earth is Dovizioso hitting those sorts of lap times? That is absolutely crazy. No movement up at the front since Dovi hit the front. He's just pulling away, ploughing through this rain. Well, it's not even rain, he's been ploughing through the puddles on the track. Track's starting to form a bit of a drier line. And I'm going to start struggling with the rear now. We're in a very lonely 12th place. And it's hard to find any sort of lap time out here. Jack Miller has been glued to the back of Nakagami since the start of this Grand Prix, and he hasn't been able to make a move on the Honda rider. Oh ho ho, we're being reeled in by the KTM behind of Aleix Espargaro. This rear tyre is really starting to go. Not that confident on the brakes either. Under acceleration we're okay. It's pretty stable, this Yamaha. Just need to upgrade the frame if we can. Out of turn 12. Couple of corners to go then. Espargaro has broken the gap behind to less than a second. Oh, I've ran deep into that final corner. That is going to cost us a lot of time. I don't know what happened. The front isn't wanting to grip anymore. I can hear him right behind me, but we hold on for P12. Another fast lap of the race from Dovizioso. How on earth did he do that at the end there? Right then, what was our lap time? 58.9 from Valentino, 59.2 from Maverick, 2:01 flat from us. Wow, come on, we could have done a lot better than that. So overall, a pretty disappointing weekend, but look at that, only 17 points off of Marquez. We only lost 12 points to the championship leader, so that's okay. We can start to reel him in, but I've got to watch out for Dovi behind. Look at that, he's only 11 points behind us. So we've got our work cut out then for the rest of the season. Got about 8 or 9 races left in the season, I think, so just over the halfway mark now. So I hope you guys are enjoying the season. If you are, remember to smash the like button, share it around with friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more F1 and MotoGP content.